Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tammy Ernest and I am a long arm quilter, and here on my YouTube channel I like to share customer finishes as well as my own personal projects. So today I have a whole stack of customer quilts, including this chicken salad quilt, which is a Lori Holt pattern. I have my Sew Sampler box for July to unbox for you today, and I also have some updates on my Quilty Fun sew along that I'm doing with Fat Quarter Shop. All right, so I am doing the Quilty Fun quilt along with Fat Quarter Shop. Now, I started this several years ago. My birthday was in January. I decided on the Friday night of each month that was closest to my birthday date, I would do that night and do one row of this Quilty Fun quilt along, and just my own personal project that I was working on. I did maybe 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5 months, I'd say, because I was only doing one row a month, and then it kind of fizzled out. You know, life happens. So when I heard that Fat Quarter Shop was doing this quilt along this year, I decided I would join in and finish this quilt because I already had part of it done. So let me show you what I have done so far. So Quilty Fun is a book that Lori Holt put out 2020, let me see. It's its 10-year anniversary. So she put this out in 2013, so 2023 would have been the 10-year anniversary, if you want to say. But this year they're doing it as an anniversary quilt along with Lori Holt and Fat Quarter Shop. And so this was a row along quilt that Lori did. She said that she did this a lot when she would teach classes for beginning students how to learn to quilt, because you have so many different techniques and blocks in this one, and it's done in rows. It's real easy to do one a week or one a month or however you want to do it. So there is a free PDF that you can download off of the Fat Quarter Shop, and I will link that down below. It does give you all of the fabric requirements if you don't want to do it scrappy. I'm doing mine totally scrappy. Then it also gives you a schedule. So this started in April, and it has you doing either 1 or 2 rows each month. So it began, and it always has the last Friday of the month listed as the date here. So that's kind of why I was shooting for July 26th, which was the last Friday in July, which was this past weekend, so to finish the next row. So far, the 4 patches, butterflies, chubby chevrons, the apples, flying geese, and then this week or this month is the cocoa cups. So I am keeping, I'm going to set my stuff right there. I am keeping this in one of these enamel tins that I had picked up many years ago. I love this one. It's more of a bread box shape. Love this one because it's got a removable lid. That's really fun. And I'm just keeping my finished rows in here. So I know I've shown you some of these, so I won't spend a lot of time on this. But first of all, let me just show you the 4 patches. I've already attached this to the butterflies. And let me see. Yeah, the 4 patches are underneath the butterflies. I am using Lori Holt scraps for most of it. When I first started, I also added in some other things. You can see that looks like a coriander quilt or fig tree. Some of those fabrics there look like those, but a lot of it is Lori Holt, but I did mix in some others that I thought matched with the colors or the shades, that kind of thing. So the bottom row is the 4 patch. That was the first month. And then the second month is the butterflies. And those 2 rows are on top of each other. So I went ahead and joined those 2. Now notice from the pattern, we're not going directly down. The top row is flowers, and we don't even get to that for several months. So she kind of jumps around. So the butterflies and 4 patches are down here. The next month that they did, May, was the butterflies and the chubby chevrons. These are so cute. Let me see which way they go. Okay. And I think I've shown you these before. That one isn't close to anything. Actually, it's going to be underneath the cocoa cups, which is what I did this month. So I'll be able to attach those. Then for the month of June, it was apples and flying geese. Those are also right next to each other. I think the apples so far are my favorite. I really like this scrappy these are tiny, tiny pieces, the flying geese, but I really like that look of the scrappiness of that. So those are my apples. Love the apples. Yellow ones, green ones, some eaten, some whole. I think those are so cute. All right, and so that was all I had done so far. So for the month of July, it is the cocoa cups. And let me show you my cocoa cups. These are large cups. The square, I want to say the block finishes at 5.5 inches square, I want to say. I should have measured my blocks and trimmed them down before joining them all together, because each one is just a tad bit large. And so there's actually another, Lori Holt suggests adding another little white piece at the end of these. But when I measured my full row measures the length that it's supposed to be without adding those on the end. So I should have trimmed down my blocks. I should have checked and trimmed down my blocks before joining them all together. But thankfully it'll still work. I just won't have the extra white pieces at the end. Very cute. Really simple to do. You'll notice a lot of the same fabrics that are in the other rows that I've already done. There are 2 sashing rows that I need to add, one on top and one on bottom. I didn't quite get to that part. And then those cocoa cups join with the chevron one, so I'll be able to add those next. So you can see the sashing row in between there. So my blocks, I don't know. Maybe I should go back and trim some, because otherwise my handles and the edge of my cup are going to be right up against that border there. So I may need to go back in and trim up a little bit. It shouldn't be, even if I decrease the spacing, there's a little white sashing in between each one of the cups. So maybe if I even went back and just stitched a little larger 1/4 inch of each one of those, then that would bring it in a little bit. So I don't know, I may need to do some fixing there. I should have measured my blocks prior to joining them, but I didn't. So I am using all scraps, and so far, not necessarily scraps. These were Lori Holt fabrics that I have had for a while, so a lot of them are fat quarters or maybe just a little bit larger than that, and I'm keeping in one of my locker baskets. But I do have scraps from my Calico Garden quilt and also my my Happy Place quilt, both of those quilts that I did as Lori Holt quilt-alongs, and bought all the called for fabrics, so I have fabrics from those left over. So these are what I'm starting with, or what I did start with several years ago when I started this row along. But as I'm going into it, I'll be able to pull some of those other fabrics from those other quilt-alongs, because I have plenty of Lori Holt fabric to choose from. So that's the personal sewing that I got done this week. Then the next thing I wanted to show you today was that I received my July Sew Sampler box. I have not even broken the seal on this one, so I thought today I would just unbox it with you, and we will see the things together. So if you already get this box, then you're going to know before I do what's in here. The one thing I do know in here is the Peaceful Baskets block of the month, and so I will be finishing that this week to show you. But besides that, I have no idea. So the theme this time, it says Playful Summer, July 2024. So cute. All the flowers. All right. So on the back is a coupon, always a coupon on the back, and an extra quilt pattern on here with a little QR code that you can do. Okay, really cute. Oh. Oh, this is the 30s Playtime. I've been looking at this. This is 30s reproduction fabrics. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, look at this. It has 3 charm packs in there. Oh my goodness. So this is by Lizzie Cole McCrae, Seems Right. 30s Playtime. I have been looking at, so anytime I do a quilt, anytime that I long arm quilt a quilt that has reproduction fabric, a lot of times I can't, or 30s reproduction, I'll go try to find that, and a lot of times I couldn't find some of the reproduction. So I knew that this 30s playtime was coming out, and a lot of times I would link this 30s reproduction prints that were coming. And so I've been seeing this for a long time. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, let me show you. So 30s playtime, so it's all, 1930s reproduction. Let me just slide this off a little bit. I cannot believe that they put three charm packs in here. That's incredible. Okay, how best to show you? So large florals. This is not happening easily, is it? Okay. So blue polka dots, so the denim blues, I like those colors. So 30s playtime, so a lot of, classic colors, I want to say, primary colors. My fingers are not working to separate these. So some blues, then a lighter blue. That one's a cute one. And then we go to the reds. So reds and blues, there's a red polka dot, a couple of those, and another red, same colorway, and then we get into the lighter ones. Oh, so cute. So low volumes, and then into the greens. So it's repeating the same patterns, just in different colorways. And then more of the aqua. And then, that one's a cute one. The lighter green, and then purples. Oh, so fun. Pinks, so you got all of them. Oh, and then it goes into the yellows. Look at that one. Oh, pretty. Like that one too. Oh, so fun. Oh, wow, okay. So 3 charm packs. 3 charm packs. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness. Let's see. So there's a little card in here that talks about it. Get ready to play around with the most adorable 1930s prints from 30s Playtime by Lindsay McCrae for Moda. No shortage of creative ways you can play with this, because they included 3 fat quarters. 3 fat quarters. They included 3 charm packs. That is so wonderful. Okay. Oh, wow. I'm so excited. All right. I don't even know what the pattern is that they included. Let me see real quick what the pattern is that they included for those, because always there's a pattern in here too that you can use the pre-cut with. So I'm going to dig to the bottom and find the pattern. So this says 5 stars table runner pattern. It uses, so the table runner uses all 3 charm packs and woven star foundation paper, which they have included as well. Cute. That's a difficult block to make, so that would be, ooh, look at that. Oh my, that looks difficult. That looks difficult. Okay. That may be a challenge, but so cute. Anyway, okay. So the pattern shows you, they've included 3 charm packs. That would be for table runner. You would also need some white fabric and some red binding, so not too much. But they also include the instructions for a lap size quilt, and I like the lap size quilt actually better than I like the table runner. And it would need 9 charm packs. Oh my goodness, you see that? I like that better though. Then, I mean, it's okay. There's the table runner, but I like the quilt. Shoo, that would be some work though for that woven star. Pretty, pretty. I like the fabric that they use for the binding. Can you see that one? Let me show you which print that is. It's the red. This one is what they use for the binding on that. I like that. That would be very pretty for whatever quilt. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll try that. I should try the foundation paper and just see how well I like it. But wow, 3 charm packs. I could do a lot of stuff with 3 charm packs. Okay. Okay, let me show you what else is in here. So Also included is a Sew Sampler 100 Mini Stash and Store. I do not have any of these. All right, so this is one of those little storage things. So it can hold scissors. This is probably a little tall to hold scissors. Well, even that, it would hold it. But little pins, your seam rippers. They also include a water-soluble glue pen in here. Oh, how cute is that? But that is what this is for. So this can sit on your sewing table. It can sit on your cutting table. It can sit on your desk. And it holds everything straight up and down. So small scissors, seam rippers, like I said, any of your pens, marking pens that you use. I've never owned any of these. They come in all different sizes, all different colors, and I've seen lots of people use them, but it's one of those notions that I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But if it comes in the box, then yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm excited. See what I can do. It's really, I like the blue color. This is very spongy. I've never even held one, so I not even know what, but it separates, so something even larger, you know, it separates so you can put that down in there, holds it tight, but then it forms back to its shape after you take it out. So like the orange peel type shape on the top. So you could fit lots of little things. Smaller things would fit in the orange peel sections of it, and then larger things in between those. So excited to use that. Yay. All right. Let me see what else is in here. So this little blue glue pen, it says blue. That looks purple to me. Water soluble formula. It goes on with a blue tint. That's why it's called blue, not the pen itself. Goes on with a blue tint so you can see where it's being applied, but it dries clear. With a light adhesive hold, it's a great tool for paper piecing and even small piecing when pinning. When pinning just won't cut it. You'll receive one of the two colorways. So there's also, this is the purple one. There's also a white base with a fuchsia kind of color, pink on there. And so a glue pen, which would work really well if you're doing foundation paper piecing, because you can just do a little strip of glue to hold your fabrics. You hold your paper onto your fabric while you're stitching and cutting so it doesn't shift on you. So a great thing. I like how they put coordinating things, you know, tools together in one box. So a great thing to use to go with foundation paper with the charm pack, and then a great little tool to hold your glue pen so you don't lose it. I like how they include all those different things. All right. Then another thing in here, let's see what this one is. A small stitch love maker bucket. This exclusive Stitch Love Maker bucket is a perfect adornment for your sewing space. Use it to hold scraps, notions, or fabrics wherever you love to stitch. How cute is that? So let me open it up. So it opens up round. It's canvas tote, a canvas type material, a heavy, and so it is a circle shape. You see the bottom of it? So it would sit flat. It has two handles on the sides. So I could see my daughter taking this for her yarn. I could see that happening. But really cute. Once it's full, it would sit up nice and straight, nice flat bottom. It could sit wherever you want your scrap. Just hold all your scraps or your yarns or some, you know, maybe I could even see like layer cakes when they're rolled. You could stick all those in there. Wouldn't that be cute? Nice decorative touch. So I would say the base is probably an 8-inch diameter circle. So that gives you an idea how big it is. Really cute. Okay, let me see. So I think that is all of the everything in there, except for the Peaceful Baskets block for this month. So let me show you. This one is called the double 9-patch basket. So you know what, let me do it this way. This one is called the double 9-patch basket. So you can see the quilt block, half of it coming up out of the basket there. So double 9-patch. and that is the one that I will be working on this week. I did buy the full kit, so I have all the fabrics already. I just need to cut them and then piece them together, and it goes together really quick. Really, it goes together quickly. How's that for my grammar today? So really fun. Oh, I'm so excited about that fabric, and 3 charm packs. That's a good deal. So if you're interested in getting the Sew Sampler box for yourself each month, I'll put a link down below. It's a monthly subscription. I do pay for this myself. This is not sent to me. So this is my, this is my review of it and what I think, and you can tell I like the fabrics for this month, so I'm excited about that. So each box does contain some sort of pre-cut, usually a current line that's coming out, a pattern that you can use that pre-cut with, several other notions, as well as the current quilt along, which right now is the Peaceful Baskets quilt along. If you don't want to get the box but you're interested in the Peaceful Baskets quilt along, they do provide those patterns individually, and I will link that down below as well as just the fabric if you're interested in that. So very fun. All right, I am ready to move on to customer quilts today, and the first one is this chicken salad quilt. All right, this was Lori Holt's quilt along last year. This is chicken salad. This is one of her applique quilts, and it uses all of her chicken prints. So each one of these chickens has a name. You can see Myrtle, Penny, Florence, Beatrice, Henrietta, Percy, that each have their own name, and Gail has done embroidery to put their name on each one. Now, chicken salad was a sew along that Lori Holt did last year. There is a free sew along guide. This is available on Lori's blog or on the Fat Quarter Shop, and also it may even be on Riley Blake as well. But this is a free PDF. You can print this off, and then you go to Lori Holt's blog, and she then gives you instructions. It's all archived there because this was done last year. But just do a search for chicken salad quilt along, or I can link that down below as well. All the information, everything that I share about the quilts and the fabric and the patterns, everything is linked down below. You hit the more button underneath the video and it drops down all the information that you need. So if there's a pattern, even if during the video, and if I say I don't have it, check in the information down below, because sometimes the client will send me that information later, and I do update the information in that box. Sometimes even other viewers will send me information about a pattern if I'm unfamiliar with the pattern. And so I do update that information even weeks, months later after the video comes out. So always check that box down below. Just click more, drop down below, and it includes information about all the fabrics. So I will include a link to Lori Holt's Sew Along Guide. Again, this is a free PDF, and then you go to her blog to get all the instructions. This is more of your cutting guide. This has your embroidery. This has the layout for the quilt. So if you remember 2 weeks ago, I showed a quilt that had the chicken salad layout, but the client had, instead of doing the chicken blocks, she had taken the blocks from Lori Holt's Farm Girl Vintage books and put in the blocks that she wanted. So it had the pie in the middle, if you remember that, the other bowls and mixers and things like that. So if you don't want to do applique, then you can still download this sew along guide, use the setting that's in there, and put in your own blocks, because these blocks are the same size as blocks in Lori Holt's Farm Girl Vintage books. Maybe you want to do a Christmas one. You could pull blocks from her vintage Christmas book, but use the same layout if you want to. So that is in the sew along guide as well. But this is not a pattern per se. It does not give you the instructions on how to make the quilt. It gives you instructions on fabrics that you need, how to cut the fabric, like I said, and then you will need, if you want to make the embroidery part, the applique I keep saying embroidery, the applique part of the chickens, you need to buy the So Simple Shapes, the chicken salad So Simple Shapes from the Fat Quarter Shop or your local quilt store, and I will link that down below as well. But a really cute quilt. And then, so Gail has done the applique chickens, and then she's used low volume prints in all the blocks around it. So cute. This fabric is all the cookbook fabric. And then let me set this down so I can talk to you more about it. Then around the edge she's done a red border, and then she has the white border around the edge. This is Lori's cross stitch line. And then you can see I cut this off the long arm, but I've not trimmed it up and squared it up. So I still do have, this is hot off the long arm, just came off 10 minutes before I started video. But I still need to trim that up. So the backing fabric, Gail did ask that I pick a backing fabric. So this is one of Lori Holt's wide backings from Calico line in the gray, but I like this print as well. It has the little chicks on here as well. A lot of words on there. So all the blocks, I don't know if I can show all of these. This quilt is rather large. Let me tell you the size of it real quick. So this is over a year old because this was last year from January to May. Finished quilt is 64 by 80. This says it started in 2022. Has it been that long? Oh my goodness, this was 2 years ago? That's what it says. The Be Prepared post came out on January 10th, 2022. Where does the time go? I would have said this was last year. All right. Anyway, let me show you some of the blocks real quick. This is Edna. Edna has a little chick next to her. Now, there are still some eyes to add onto the blocks, and I'm sure Gail's going to do that once she gets it back. She did the names, and I was able to go over those, but she has saved the eyes, so perhaps she's going to use buttons for the eyes or something like that. So it's just real cute, you know, classic Lori Holt. Here's Percy. He's a rooster. He has his comb and his wattle. The little feet are done with bias tape makers. That's how you make those little pieces for that. Hattie has the chicken on the, or has her chick riding on her back. How cute is that? Here's another rooster. That's Hank. How you like Hank? Henrietta has her eggs underneath her. So cute. Cornelius has a little chick following after. This is Prudence. So cute. Two chicks with that one. Love how their beaks are open. It just looks like, I mean, it just looks like they're talking. She did embroidery for the feet of the chicks, but then the feet for the chickens are the bias tape makers. So pantograph. So for the pantograph on this one, I used what's called uneven wishbone. So let me see, the best way for you to see it, maybe on the back. So wishbone, traditionally a wishbone pattern, just up and loop, down and loop, up and loop, down and loop, you know, and then you can reduce your rows so that they nest inside each other, you know, like this. Uneven wishbone is that same concept, except uneven means that some of the loops are bigger and some of the loops are smaller. So I liked this one. I didn't do this very tight, and the reason was there's applique on the front, there's a lot of busy prints, the low volumes are of the brighter nature, and so I just didn't want to do too much over busy, just create more busyness. So, and I kind of like this uneven wishbone. It kind of reminds me of like maybe a chicken wire fence or something, but I love the chicken wire pantographs, but the ones that I've used, they are a fussy matchup, and so I hesitate to do them on client quilts just until I get more practice doing them a little bit, just because there is a lot of precise matching up, and I've done them a couple times, and it just takes a little more work. So I like the look of this because it kind of gives that feel of a fence, in some ways, you know, without, you know, I don't think you have to add a chicken wire fence to every pantograph, you know, to every chicken quilt that you do, or every barnyard quilt. Sometimes it's just better just to go with something that creates texture and not try to repeat the theme in your pantograph, if that makes sense. So I like this one. I kept it real open. I did use a cream color thread, and sometimes I use white on Lori Holt, sometimes I use cream. Kind of the way, so this one I used cream because even the low volume prints, they're fairly bright. Really the lowest volume is around the chickens themselves, and all the other blocks she's used a little, what I would say more of a medium print. And I felt like a white thread was going to be too bright on a lot of those colors. So Lori's fabric is done on a cloud background, and so not quite a stark white, a little more of a creamy. So a white would work. But when there's a lot of color in a quilt like this, then I tend to go with the cream. If there was a lot, if these were more of a low volume, like around the chicks, then I might have gone with a white, just because I think it would have blended in better. So it's really personal preference, but that's kind of what I did. Because of all the colors on this one, I did go with the cream color thread. And again, like I said, I made this fairly large, so the bottom of the row is here, the top of the row is here. I really could only do 2 rows at a time in stitching this out on my Amara, because it nested in together, and 2, because I had the rows fairly large there. So a really cute quilt. If you want to do some of Lori Holt's applique, this might be a good one to start with, because it's 12 blocks, I guess, but it's not, everything in the quilt is not applique. So probably one of her easier in meaning that there's less applique blocks than, say, the Hometown or the Happy Place, or the Calico Garden, which almost every block is an applique. On this one you really only have the 12, and then you're doing, it's in the setting that creates the larger quilt. So very cute, Gail, just love it. The cookbook fabric is so pretty as well. Just a lot of fun there. Okay, this is Maggie's quilt, and this is so darling. So Maggie's quilt measures 85 by 87, and she's done it all in these dogs and their sweaters. How cute is that? Don't you love it? This is an Elizabeth Hartman pattern. I'm sure you've seen this pattern before. It is just darling. I love how the dogs go in both directions. I think you can see that going in both directions. So she has used Kona solids, so the whites, the dogs are Kona solids, their ears, their noses, their eyes and their noses, and their bodies are all Kona solids. But then she's used miscellaneous plaids and scraps for all of their little sweaters. Isn't that just darling? So she's done this really large, and I know the pattern can be made, you know, you can do as many dogs as you want or as few as you want to create the size quilt that you want. And then notice Maggie has then done a pieced border all around the edge with those same plaids and scraps from her stash. How cute is that? So very fun. Then she has added a minky backing. This is done in, I think this is the sand color. Again, I'll link it down below, but just really like it. Really, really pretty. For the pantograph on this one, Maggie chose the Breeze pantograph. I really have enjoyed Maggie's choices for pantograph. She suggests, she's one that puts down on the intake form what she wants me to do. And I like that she is using pantographs that just create a lot of texture. Breeze pantograph really has nothing to do with the dogs, but it just adds a lot of interest. You've got a lot of negative space in this one. So all of those white sections in between the dogs, it's all negative space. And so Adding a pantograph that has a lot of texture in there just adds a lot of interest to it. Did use a white thread on this one. All of the Kona solid used as the background print is all white. So white needed to be done. It does show up on the dog's faces, but this whole quilt, there's so much white in this, I really didn't want to use another color. And then you notice on the back, I say this all the time, but Minky has just enough of a nap on it that you don't see the thread color on the back. Unless you did, if you did a bright pink or something, you would be able to see some of that. But by using a white thread, it blends in. You're only seeing texture on the back. You're really not seeing any thread color. So the white thread was really the good choice on this one. So very, very nice. Love the size of this. I love how she's improvised the pattern for to suit her style, with the plaids, and then adding all of the border around the outside was just a super darling, cute quilt that Maggie has made. Maggie's second quilt is absolutely beautiful. So this is the Sweet Tooth quilt. This is done by Jaybird Quilts, which is Julie Herman. This is done all in Kona solids. It's just absolutely beautiful. I do have some minky spots from the last quilt that was laying on there, so I hope that doesn't distract from it. So this pattern, like I said, is called the Sweet Tooth quilt. This is now a book. It's 12 distinct quilt blocks, all put together in a book by so you could do this as a block of the month. There are 12. Each one is different. It does use the hexen more and the super sidekick rulers. So very, very beautiful. Love the dark background. Just isn't that pretty? Just really, really like that. So Jaybird Quilts, Julie Herman is doing another quilt along coming up real soon. I just saw it on Fat Quarter Shop's live video last week or the week before, and it's just beautiful. You'll have to go see that. And I'll link it down below if you want to see it. But just absolutely beautiful. This one measures 66 by 91. It's just beautiful. All Kona solids as well. Each block is different, and Maggie has just done an incredible job. And then for the backing fabric on this one, she did a blue, royal blue minky, and that just is so pretty. It just shows up the quilting so well. So for the quilting on this one, we did feather meander, and I did do this one rather tight. So you're going to see in a little bit I did a feather meander on another quilt, but on that one I did it much larger. And how do I decide scale on a quilt? Sometimes it depends on the client, because I'll have a client say, I like tight, I don't like tight, I like loose, I don't like it too loose, so I try to judge it by the client's style. But also on a quilt like this, to me this has a very modern feel of a quilt. And I feel like modern quilts, especially this one, has a lot of negative space. A modern quilt tends to have a little tighter quilting. Not always. But just kind of the feel seems to have tighter quilting. The second quilt that I'm going to show you later that has the exact same pantograph, it's more of a traditional quilt. And so I did the pattern a lot looser, more open, more hinting towards a traditional quilt pattern. When they would have been doing it by hand, this would have been way too tight. Not that they couldn't do it, but this would have taken them years to get done, to do it this tight. With our modern machines, we can do it, so much denser, and we're doing them, so much quicker, and we're not making quilts necessarily for our personal needs. We're making them now out of personal wants, and so I just think the larger quilt patterns lend itself well to more traditional. When you're doing a more modern pattern or look, I think a tighter design usually lends itself really nice to it. So not only did we use a tighter design, and I may have mentioned this is called feather meander. So it has some feather type looks in there, but it also has a little bit of a paisley, so not all feathers, not paisley, a little bit of a swirl, and then even over the swirl it has some feather type backbone on top of on top of the swirl. So not only that, but Maggie also asked that I use a navy thread on this one. Because the background fabric is this dark navy, I do think it tends, again, that darker color lends itself to a more modern quilt. It just really changes the look of the quilt. It's much more dynamic, I want to say. You notice the tight quilting on these, and also because the piecing of this quilt, the piecing of these blocks is much smaller. And I just think you're going to see the design of the feather meander a little better in these blocks because it's shrunk down a little bit more. You're going to see more of the design. And then I like the tighter design just so it shows up very well on the smaller blocks of this one. So absolutely beautiful, just really, really nice. That dark thread. Again, I got some minky from the last quilt showing up there, but just absolutely beautiful. Maggie did a really nice job. All right, I have 3 quilts by Paula today, and this one is called the Centennial State quilt. You can see across the top it says the Centennial State. This is a panel in the middle, and then she has added several borders around or 2 borders it looks like, a little gingham border and then a larger floral border around there, just super pretty. I love this. And she asked for the Brilliance pantograph on this one, so you can see the design of that one. Whoops. I like the texture that this added in. I did use a little bit of a taupey color thread on this one just because the tone of this quilt's a little darker, and it added a nice texture to the sky part, but then it really just blends in with the design down at the bottom. Her backing fabric is super cute. It has this this bird print on the back. It is directional, so I had to make sure I got this the right direction. Didn't want the birds upside down along with the panel print on the front. So super cute quilt. This measures 48 by 56. Again, just taking those panels that we have and adding a couple borders, and it makes a really nice, cute quilt. Paula's second quilt. This is a white charm pack quilt, she says, and so you can see the beautiful charm packs in here. Some of these fabrics are really cute, like Alice in Wonderland. Some of them look like Tilda fabrics. Others have coffee pots, and just really, really cute. She didn't give me any information on the fabrics themselves, but you can cut 5-inch squares and create this pattern very simply for yourself. Just really, really cute. The backing fabric then, whoo, look at that. The bright flowers on the back, they're super large. Really, really like that. That's super fun. For the pantograph on this one, she chose Julie Hertz Cottonwood. Again, I just love this. I did do this tight, and this is more of a modern quilting design. And again, this, maybe the quilt pattern isn't necessarily modern, but this quilting design is, and we are filling in a lot of negative space here, in the white part. I did use a white thread on this one. So you can see the flower. This one does have a lot of, fairly tight nesting in. When this stitches out, you're actually doing 2 rows of flowers at a time, and then the next one comes up and touches into those flowers above it. I did use a white thread again because of all the white fabric, the background fabric, and I really like this one. Because our white prints, we do have a lot of We do have a lot of negative space here in these open spaces, but it's not huge, if that makes sense. And so my flowers are measuring probably 2.5 inches tall for this cottonwood cottonwood pantograph. So then you're seeing that design. If you make it too large, you're not going to see that design in the fabrics. So really, really cute. This one measures 52 by 52, so a great baby quilt, or to throw on the back of a couch or a chair, and just love the bright print on the back as well. And before I get to Paula's third quilt, I have Debbie's quilt up here. And Debbie's quilt, Debbie has sent me a lot of quilts that she has done previously, and then she's trying to get them finished up. So I don't have any information about fabrics or pattern design, but it's all done in hearts. But it is very fall feeling. I feel like several of my quilts today had a fall feel to them. So several of the blocks are appliqued. So you can see this one here in the center. And even the pieced sections, a lot of these are then done with a buttonhole stitch or a blanket stitch around the edges, but all heart shapes. Every one of the blocks has hearts of some sort. Love this one up here, has a lot of the small little hearts in it. Really fun. And again, they're all appliqued around. And it looks like machine, I don't know, she might have done these by hand. I can't tell for sure. No, it looks like machine applique, all with a white thread. Just very, very nice, very pretty. So this one measures 69 by 89. She does have a couple borders, and then look at this. I'm going to show you the edges of this one. She has an appliqued heart in every corner. So cute, like a double heart. So it's got the lighter background in the middle. There's a red piece behind that, and then the red and white gingham behind it. Large borders around the edge. Very pretty. The backing fabric she did in 3 sections. So a fabric on the top, and then this through the middle, and then a different fabric on the bottom. Very, very pretty. So for the pantograph on this one, I think I chose citrine on this one, and I like the look of this one. This adds some, I would say I did it in a medium size, not super tight, but not super big. It has a little bit of the feather type look, a little bit of paisley type look. I like this one. I think this is a really nice, kind of a hint to modern, kind of a hint to, it's a good transition between traditional and newer ones. I like the flowiness of it. For the thread color, this is a cream color thread. The tone of the quilt is a little darker, so I felt the cream color worked really well. Love this one. Every quilt is worth finishing, so it doesn't matter if you did something 20 years ago, you still want to finish it. Somebody's going to like it, and they're going to like it a lot more if it's finished and not just they find it in a pile once you're gone. So let's get those quilts finished. This is so pretty, Debbie. Very, very pretty. And then this is the third quilt that I have from Paula this week, and she calls this her Flying Geese quilt. Love the fabric line on this one. I love the fall colors to it. I don't know the fabric line, so if you do, send me a message. I'd love to link this down for others. It's kind of an orangey red, tealy green, the mustard yellows, just super cute. Really like it. So it's all flying geese. So 3 flying geese, has some sashing, 3 flying geese. So so the block looks like it's right here. So it has a bit of sashing here. the unit with 3 flying geese and a bit of sashing here, and then here's the block again. This one has the sashing going vertical and the 3 flying geese. And again, here's the next one. The sashing is horizontal and the 3 flying geese. So very, very cute. Very cute. And then she's added the green border around the edge. And then I love this backing fabric too. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. I like that. For the pantograph, this is called Ginger Snap. And I did this fairly tight. Again, we have a lot of negative space here. I did use white thread because it is a white background fabric. And just, again, more of a modern style with the fabrics and the look of the quilt. And so I think a little tighter design works really well for a little more of a modern quilt. I like the circle pattern. Paula chose the pantograph. She told me which one to use, and I like her choice of doing something circular with all of the triangle shapes, the flying geese units. I like the circular addition of the pattern. Very pretty. Next up, this is Terry's quilt, and Terry's quilt is called Squiggle. This is by Carol Thelen. There is a YouTube video that shows you how to make this, and there is also a free PDF that is linked in that YouTube video to show you exactly how to make this one. So very, very fun. Very fun. The fabrics in this one are Desert Blossom. This is a Create Joy project that Moda did. She did include a little bit. Let me pull this in. Love the backing fabric as part of that. She did include one of the selvages, and it says the Create Joy project, and this one is called Desert Oasis, which is part of the Desert Blossom line. Very pretty. I like that it's kind of a watercolory feel to it, and the browns and the greens and the blues, the desert type feel. Again, desert is what it says. So just, I like this one. And then the white fabric that you see is not a solid white. It's just got the slightest tint, almost like a grunge, just the slightest hint of some shading and some modeling in there, just a little bit. I really like that too. So the Squiggle block, you've got half square triangles and you've got solid squares, and you're creating that squiggle is how it does that. So for the pantograph, this is a brand new one. One of my business buddies said, hey, look at this new pantograph that's out on My Creative Stitches. And so I went and grabbed it, and I said that'll be the perfect one for this quilt. So this is called Longwood. I did use a white thread on this one. The background fabric is more of a white color. I like the Longwood. It has just these dainty little leaves. Do you see the little leaves? And then it's got some swirls. So nice and open. Just a nice pantograph. Very pretty. You see the stalk coming up with the leaves on either side, and then one at the very top, and the little swirls. Very pretty. The measurements on this quilt is 66 by 84. And I was just looking at the pattern real quick. This gives you, the pattern gives you, it says the block of the day 2023. So it shows you how to make the block a 6 by 12 finished block or a 4 by 8 finished block. So you can do them in either way. So I would say hers is done in the 4 by 8. So you can see the block right here. So Terry has done the 4 by 8 finished block, but there's also instructions on here for a 6 by 12 finished block, which would make a much larger quilt, larger squares to work with, larger half square triangles to deal with as well. So very, very pretty. Love it, Terry. You did a really great job. And my next 3 quilts come from Joy. And this quilt measures 53 by 63, and Joy says that she used no pattern. She used the Studio 180 design tool called Deb Tucker's Corner Beam. She said it was a great tool. It helped make accurate angles. Each corner beam block measured 2.5 inches. So look how well she did. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The fabric she used was a Moda scrap bag, Holly Jolly, and Moda Bella Solids. Fabric designer was Urban Chicks. So the Bella Solids she used, so you can see, you know, she's got some print fabrics in here, but then she's used solids as well. So she used mint in here, Betty's green, Betty's pink, Betty's red, and porcelain as the background. So porcelain has a little more of an ivory color to it. Porcelain, you know, is not a pure white. And then you can see the borders that she added, the mint green border, then the poinsettia border, and then a red border around the edge. And then she's done the poinsettia fabric on the back. Isn't that pretty? So cute. The backing is from the Holly Jolly collection. So she did a really nice job using that tool. Her points and her stars, it looks like the kite kind of, looks really, really nice. For the pantograph, she chose wishbone, and we were talking about the uneven wishbone before. This is wishbone where it is all the same size. So it comes up, down, and then I nest those in together so that they're nice and close together. Lots and lots of texture on that. Love that. So intricate, so nice. And then you see how each one of the blocks has a sashing, and then she's used the mint as the cornerstones. It's almost like it's a little bauble in between of them. It's square, but it almost has that look of like a little bauble right there. So cute. All right, Joy's second quilt is made using the Lady of the Lake block. She did a 10-inch finished block. There is, on the Fat Quarter Shop, there is a free PDF where it gives you instructions for the block. There's even a YouTube video that is right next to this PDF. And then there is a pattern that you can buy that will give you sizes for a lap, twin, king, or queen size quilt to finish with those blocks. Joy's quilt measures 65 by 85. The fabric that she used is Lady's Legacy, which is a Barbara Brackman for Moda, and then a Bella Solid, which is the snow print. Very, very pretty. And she says, I love the look of old antique 2-color quilts, so this is the look I'm going for. So she chose the Feather Meander on this one. And this is the one I'm saying I did it much larger. Again, more of a hint towards a traditional. She said she likes the 2-color antique quilts. So a larger pantograph kind of gives that still that feel of more of an antique-y, if that's a word, an antique-y type quilt. So I love the 2 colors, very, very nice. Then she has done the cream color border and then a large border with that same color. And then her backing fabric is just a muslin. I just think this is so pretty. This is, you know, you might even mistake this one for an antique quilt when you saw it, because she's done such a nice job. And there you can see the pantograph really well. Because this Bella Solid, the muslin and the Bella Solid on the front is much more of a creamy color, I did use a cream color thread. And then it just provides all the texture on the back. So you can see how much larger this one was than the dark navy one that we did earlier. Very pretty. All right, I have one more by Joy today. And the last quilt I have for you today is the last one of Joy's that I have today, and this is the Granny Squared pattern. So this is a Lori Holt pattern. There is a book called Great Granny Square. Said she was inspired by a quilt that I showed last fall and by Lori Holt's book, and so she did it all in purples, lilac. It is just absolutely beautiful. She again used a Moda scrap bag of pansies, posies. She used Moda Bella solids, 3 other prints from her stash. So she's paired the mint color along with the purple. So some of them are a dark purple, some of them are more lavender. I love how she's mixed them in, and then that mint green is just really nice. Really, really pretty. So here's the Granny Squared block. She does have sashing between each one, horizontal sashing between the rows. And then she said this is the first time that she tried a pieced border with the leftover 2-inch squares, and she says, I'm happy with the way that turned out. She should be happy. She not only used 2-inch squares, she set them on point all the way around. How pretty is that? She did a great job. And then I like the border around the edge. It's just so pretty. She did such a nice job with all those extras. So, so pretty. The background fabric then, she chose this purple. Very pretty. And then the pantograph, she said, I want to do, she chose Flower Child, something fun and simple flower design. So that's what we use. This is called Flower Child. I love stitching this one out. This is just a very nicely programmed pantograph. I like this one. It nests well with the row above it. It gives good coverage. It's doing a 6-petaled flower, but it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals. And I love the way it stitches out. It does the 3, the 4, the 5. Somehow, how does it come in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it comes back over, and then it comes down and does the one beside it the opposite way. So you can see, because it's 5, you've got this one here points north. The one next to it has the 5th petal points south, and I just love this. Did use a white thread on this one as well. All the background fabric is white, and really on the back, this the busyness of this fabric, the modeling, it's kind of like a tone on tone with a little bit of white, and you really don't even see the quilting color on the back, but I just think that is so fun. So fun. She did a great job. And this one measured 54 by 64, so a great lap size quilt. Very beautiful. So great idea, because the Granny Squared quilt, we usually see them as scrappy ones, you know, or all different colors. I love that she's done this in one colorway, and it's just very beautiful. So she had 2 quilts that were done in one color, you know, a 2-color quilt, the background and then one color. So where the other one was all the same fabric, this one she's done same colors, all the purple, but just so pretty. She did a great job. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me today. If you are in need of long arm quilting services, I hope that you'll get a hold of me. All my information is down below, and I will be back here next week, because every quilt is worth finishing. We'll see you then.